This video was created by Boys Town Pediatric Gastroenterology for patients who have been advised by their physician to follow a lactose-free diet. The information presented is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for medical advice from your healthcare provider. Eating lactose-free.
If your physician has recommended a lactose-free diet, you've come to the right place. Hi, I'm Shannon Muse, clinical dietitian at Boys Town National Research Hospital. I work with children and families to make an easy transition to lactose-free eating. In this video, I'll help you to learn more about why you need to eat lactose-free and how to eliminate lactose from your diet. I'll also provide tips to make eating lactose-free easier and share some of my favorite brands and food items that will help you to find lactose-free alternatives to the beverages, meals, and snacks that you and your family like. So let's get started.
Why eat lactose-free?
You may or may not know that lactose is a type of sugar in cow's milk and dairy foods. To digest lactose, the body produces a specific enzyme in the small intestine called lactase. But if your body doesn't produce enough lactase, you can have trouble digesting lactose. This can leave you with symptoms that include diarrhea or constipation, bloating, stomach pain, and gas. So, if you want to eliminate these symptoms, it's important to avoid regular cow's milk. You'll also need to stay away from beverages, foods, and snacks made with regular cow's milk as well as goat milk products. It's important to point out that you can still have cow's milk products that are lactose-free. These are products where lactose has been filtered out of the milk or the lactase enzyme has been added to the milk to break down the lactose.
How do I eliminate lactose?
The first step to eliminating lactose is to read the list of ingredients to see if the product contains cow's milk with or without lactase to break down the milk sugar. If the product contains lactase or says lactose-free, it is safe to consume. If the product is made from a milk alternative like almond milk, it's lactose-free because it's dairy-free. There are a few ingredients that you may see on labels that are components of regular milk that are fine to have because they do not contain lactose. These ingredients are casein, lactalbumin, lactate, and lactic acid. Now let's talk about the ingredients that you need to eliminate from your diet. Milk, butter, cream, milk solids, and whey. Note that aged hard cheeses made from cow's milk are 99% lactose-free. Examples include Parmesan, aged white cheddar, Gouda, and Colby Jack. 1 ounce per meal is tolerable for most people. This means you don't have to eat vegan cheese if you limit your portion size of real cheese. Another way to avoid lactose is to be careful with some of these common foods that may or may not contain milk or lactose. Check the ingredients to be sure before you eat lunch meats and hot dogs that contain cheese, baked goods, pre-mixed mashed potatoes, instant soups, creamy beverage mixes, pancake and cake mixes, salad dressings, and even some candy. You will want to pay special attention to some fats that may contain lactose, including butter and cream cheese. Make sure to check margarine labels to find one that does not contain milk. It can feel overwhelming to remove so many items that are part of your regular diet, but you'll find that a lot of this will become second nature to you. And as the symptoms go away, it's so worth it.
What foods are safe to eat?
The good news is that eating lactose-free still leaves you a lot of foods to choose from, as long as they are not made using milk. There are also lactose-free versions of the foods you enjoy most. Other foods allowed on a lactose-free diet are meat, poultry, fish, dried beans, eggs, and nuts. Vegetables and fruits are encouraged. So are all grains. You can use fats and oils like avocado oil and other vegetable-based oils, and all single ingredient herbs and spices may also be used. You'll also discover there are many desserts you can still enjoy. Look for lactose-free ice cream like Breyers, fruit ices, and sorbets like Luigi's Real Italian Ice and gelatin. One final category includes beverages. Coffee, tea, or water are all great. But again, check for milk in anything that's processed or has added creamers.
What are my options for milk?
For most people, especially children and youth, milk is the primary source of calcium. As you're likely aware, calcium is a mineral that's best known for forming strong bones and teeth, but it also helps muscles to contract, blood to clot, and nerves to function. So how do you make sure you're getting adequate calcium on a lactose-free diet? If you're drinking a lactose-free cow's milk like Fairlife or Lactaid, you'll be getting the same amount of calcium that you'd get from regular cow's milk. If you choose a plant-based, dairy-free alternative, you'll want to make sure it's enriched with calcium. Fairlife brand lactose-free milk is a good option if you prefer the taste of regular milk. This is still cow's milk with some of the lactose filtered out and the lactase enzyme added. Through this ultra-filtering process, the milk has less sugar and more protein than regular milk. Lactaid brand lactose-free milk is also cow's milk with the lactase enzyme added to break apart lactose. Lactaid tastes a bit sweeter because the disaccharide lactose in the milk becomes a monosaccharide when the enzyme is added, which changes the flavor to be slightly sweeter. Both Fairlife and Lactaid have the calcium you would get from regular cow's milk naturally. There are also non-dairy, plant-based beverages that are good alternatives. Most are enriched with calcium, but check the label and make sure you choose a beverage that provides 300 to 450 milligrams of calcium per cup. Some examples of plant-based non-dairy options include almond, oat, and coconut, soy or ripple, which is made using a pea protein, rice, cashew, and hemp. It's good to try a few options to decide the option you prefer most and to give you choices.
How do I cook lactose-free?
Now, you may be wondering, how can we make family favorites with these new rules? You can try these lactose-free substitutions in your recipes. To replace 1 cup of whole milk, you can try 1 cup of Fairlife or Lactaid whole milk, or 1 cup of unsweetened plain almond milk. If the recipe calls for 1 cup of fat-free milk, try the 1 cup of fat-free Fairlife or Lactaid milk, or a half cup non-dairy creamer plus a half cup water. If your recipe calls for a half cup of cottage cheese, use a half cup of soft tofu. If it calls for 1 cup of yogurt, do 1 cup of either a lactose-free yogurt or a dairy-free yogurt. If the recipe calls for 1 ounce of cheese, use 1 ounce of aged hard cheese such as cheddar, Colby Jack, or Parmesan. For 1 tablespoon of cream cheese, substitute 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise.
What are lactose-free foods and brands I can try?
Whenever you're adopting something new, like eating lactose-free, it's nice to know something about the foods and brands that other kids and families have tried and liked. In this section, we'll look at some of the lactose-free options along with their websites to get you familiar with what's available. Keep in mind, if you can't find a lactose-free product, then you may need to turn to dairy-free product. As mentioned before, all dairy-free products are automatically lactose-free. We've broken these options down into food categories to make it easier to follow and reference later. Let's get started with margarine. Sometimes they're called spreads. Most margarines do contain some type of dairy, so read the ingredient list to find one that doesn't. Be sure to check the label every time because companies do sometimes change ingredients. Country Crock spread does not contain dairy at this time. You may also opt for a plant-based spread like Earth Balance. It's a spread and will have water as the first ingredient, so that's perfect for your toast or your potatoes. For baking, use baking sticks or plant butter, where the first ingredient is palm oil. These provide enough saturated fat to have your cookie and pastries turn out properly. If you try to use something like a spread that has water as the first ingredient, they'll likely go flat. Finally, we get questions about ghee. It's made by boiling off dairy solids, so it will be mostly lactose-free, but there's no way to measure if there is still lactose-containing whey in the ghee, though. So try it with caution to see if you can tolerate it. Let's move on to yogurts. Even though yogurt itself doesn't have very much lactose in it, it's still best to opt for a lactose-free option. Green Valley Creamery makes a lactose-free yogurt from cow's milk. Check their website to see if it's sold near you. Fage Best Self lactose-free yogurt is a Greek yogurt that's higher in protein and lactose-free. Luckily, there are many dairy-free plant-based options made from oats, soy, or almond. Kite Hill is an almond-based yogurt that is completely dairy-free. They make a plant-based regular yogurt that is not high in protein, and they make a Greek-style yogurt with added soy protein, which provides 12 grams of protein per small container. Another brand that makes a good yogurt is So Delicious. These products are made from coconut, so they are a good plant-based choice for a dairy-free yogurt if a lactose-free option isn't available to you. Some people who are on a lactose-free diet find that they can tolerate 1 to 2 ounces of the hard-aged real cow's milk cheese. Others cannot. But if you want more, or if you find that it bothers you, you may want to choose a plant-based cheese. These are typically made from almonds or cashews. Let's talk for a minute about everyone's favorite, ice cream. There are lactose-free options made from cow's milk and plant-based varieties. Breyers makes a lactose-free real ice cream from cow's milk. The red banner on the front of the package says lactose-free, so look for the banner in the ice cream section of your grocery store. If there's no lactose-free ice cream available, you'll need to consider plant-based frozen desserts like the So Delicious. The So Delicious brand makes coconut and oat-based ice cream and ice cream bars that are dairy-free. Anytime a food says dairy-free, you know that it's also lactose-free. And last but not least is Ben & Jerry's dairy-free ice cream, which is typically oat-based and is a decadent dessert. Milk chocolate, just the name alone is enough to put it on the can't have list, but that's not necessarily the case. Enjoy Life makes a chocolate bar with rice milk, so they are both dairy-free and lactose-free. Also, keep in mind that semi-sweet chocolate chips are usually dairy-free if you like those too. Remember to check the ingredients just in case, or especially if you opt for a dark chocolate bar. One thing children miss when they begin to eat a lactose-free diet is mac and cheese. You could make it from scratch using the lactose-free cheeses and lactose-free milk, but the 1 to 2 ounce rule means it won't be very cheesy. One nice option to this category is Banza vegan pasta. It has a plant-based shells and a vegan cheddar. Remember, anytime a product is labeled vegan, you know it is dairy-free and therefore lactose-free. When we're talking kids and pizza, there's a distinct possibility that they'll want to have more slices than the 1 to 2 ounce rule allows. But there are dairy-free pizzas. Daiya is one of them. With dairy-free cheese, you won't have to count pizza slices. You can find Daiya in the frozen section of the grocery store, or sometimes in the frozen health food section with other allergy-friendly foods.
What snack foods can I eat?
Snacks are a big part of eating for children. Having to limit portions or eliminate certain favorites can feel like a big deal. Here are a few tips and substitutes for lactose-free snacking. One question that I get from children that are new to a lactose-free diet is, what are some good snacks that will actually fill me up? For that, I recommend Bobos. These oat bars are a great source of dense calories. They have decent fiber and protein content and are not too high in sugar. And they have good clean ingredients. For me, that means no artificial colors and flavors and no high fructose corn syrup. One of my favorites is their lemon poppy seed oat bar. Let's look at the label. Half of a bar is one serving at 170 calories. So if you eat the whole thing, that's 340 calories, which is a good amount for a substantial snack, especially for an active teenager. Another Bobo snack that is a kid favorite is their PB&J oat snacks. It's a healthier version of another popular PB&J snack. But these have strawberry and grape jelly that are not made from high fructose corn syrup, like the typical grape jelly is. It is a little high in added sugar, but it can work well before or after a sport practice for an active child. So either of these would be a great snack. Both are dairy-free, therefore would be lactose-free. Another brand, Pamela's, is geared towards being gluten-free, but many of their products are also dairy-free. Pamela's Whenever bar is a substantial snack and comes in different flavors. They are dairy-free and feature clean ingredients, along with a decent amount of fiber and a little bit of protein and fat, which provides balance. It does have some sugar added, but it's not too much. Amy's brand non-dairy selections are something you should become familiar with. Amy's makes frozen meals, some soups, and a ready-made non-dairy frozen burrito. Of course, you can make your own lactose-free version from scratch, but this is nice if you want a convenient food that you can just pop in the microwave, eat, and go. If Amy's isn't in the regular frozen aisles, check the frozen health section to see if your store has one. Many children I talk to are sad at the loss of Cheez-It snack crackers, but Mary's Gone Crackers makes a vegan version of this cheesy favorite. How about we take this opportunity to look up the Mary's Gone Crackers website to find out how to locate this product near you, along with others we've discussed. Go to Mary's website, which is marysgonecrackers.com, and click on Find Mary's on the top bar. Then enter your zip code. The stores near you that carry Mary's will pop up for your review. Almost every website you visit will have a find function that will allow you to find their product near you. You may need to look for it, but it's almost always there. We've put together a list of links to the brand websites mentioned, along with other downloadable information on the page housing this video.
Do lactase supplements work?
One option you have to avoid digestive issues is to take a lactase supplement before you consume any regular dairy ingredients. It's important to know that not everyone responds well to lactase supplements. My suggestion is to first eliminate lactose to get symptom-free. Then you can test your body's response to taking a lactase supplement.
It's time to put your new knowledge to work.
Now, as you go out to shop with your new lactose-free diet, I suggest you remember these 3 things. 1, read the ingredient list. If it contains milk, butter, or any regular dairy ingredient, it needs to also contain lactase to be lactose-free. Lactose-free products will usually say lactose-free on the front of the label or in larger print on the back. Number 2, read the ingredient list often because manufacturers can change their formulas. And number 3, if it says dairy-free or vegan, then it's automatically lactose-free, and that makes it a safe choice. If all of this seems overwhelming, take a deep breath and know that soon it will all be second nature to you. In the meantime, refer to this video anytime you have a question or need a quick refresher. Thank you for taking the time to learn about lactose-free living with Boys Town. Click here for a list of links and downloadable PDFs.